Okay, halala. I am talking today to one of South Africa's top speakers and futurists. He's our foremost expert on generational issues, an all-round nice guy. It's Graeme Codrington. Hey, Graeme, how's lockdown going?
Hey, Chester. Well, as you can see, I've migrated to my moon base for the rest of lockdown. Joburg just wasn't working for me.
Good idea. And you're less likely to get mugged on the moon, I would say, although you never know. You're a futurist, so I guess people don't ask, how are you? They ask, how will you be?
You know what? I wish I could predict the future. Futurists spend a lot of time looking at the past, trying to work out what's happened before, what will happen again, what are the patterns and disruptions of history. So I wish I could predict the future, and if I could, I really would live on the moon, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true. Like Elon Musk, he's a futurist. He seems to be on the moon already. So listen, man, I'm terrified right now, Graeme, of the virus, of the recession, of anything that's Donald Trump's shade of orange, like Oros and Anachi that's been sunburnt. What advice do you have for people who are struggling to cope with the changes?
Well, I think we need a serious dose of reality. The disruption that we've got, it might not be lockdown, but we're certainly going to be disrupted for at least 18 months. And I know that doesn't immediately calm you down, Chester, but I think we've got to get that reality to realize this is the new normal. What a cliche. This is the reality that we live in now for 18 months. If you get your head around that, I think that's a good starting point to help you to deal with it and get over it.
Yeah. So if you're going to use the past to predict the future, how do you do that in an unprecedented event like a coronavirus?
Well, the interesting thing is we've had 12 different coronavirus epidemics over the last 100 years. All of them followed exactly the same pattern. There's a bit of a first wave for a few months, then everybody thinks they're getting over it, they come out again, and then the second wave hits, and that's always the worst. There's also a third wave, by the way. And so that's what we need to understand, that we know we're near finished with the disruption that we're in at the moment. As we come out of lockdown, we still need to be very careful. The disease is still out there. Wear your masks, wash your hands, all the stuff you've been hearing. It's still
I'm not going to
important.
lie, Graeme. This is a comedy bit, and there's nothing funny about what you just said. I'm actually feeling quite depressed, and I'm made out of latex. So I'm basically an adult toy, and for me to feel depressed is going to take a lot. Is there anything I can be cheerful about?
I suppose what we have to think about is what's never going to come back again. And once we've lived with 12 to 18 months of disruption, there are things we're going to get used to. So I think the best news is we're never going to go back to rush hour traffic. I think a lot of people are going to work from home in the future. That might not really be a good thing for some industries, but for most industries, I think not missing rush hour traffic will be worth thinking about and enjoying.
Yes, that's the next thing. Once coronavirus has a vaccine, you think anyone will go back to the offices or offices like the parlor tone, something from the past that we should definitely get rid of?
I think some people will go back. Some people are struggling at home, but I think it'll be a work from anywhere revolution. Even if you don't go back to the office full time, you just go back for a few hours, one day a week, just for a few meetings.
Listen, man, how do you even become a futurist? Is it just something that if you couldn't become an estate agent, or is it a job for people who couldn't become weather forecasters? What does it take?
I think weather forecasters are a type of futurist, aren't they? There are two ways to do it. The one is you can actually study for it. Universities like Stellenbosch actually do a master's in future studies. The other is you have to take an industry and you have to dive into trends, scenarios, forecasts, and basically become an expert at understanding patterns and systems. That's really what I do for a living.
That's amazing. Sounds like a lot of reading. I myself don't. I just wait for bad tweets and I just repeat that as facts. The Sunday Times does the same kind of journalism. Listen, if someone is in lockdown with their family, how would you suggest we get our kids to stop using all the Wi-Fi? What must we do? What must we turn off YouTube? Shut down Netflix? Cut off Facebook? What's your advice?
My advice as somebody who is locked down with 3 daughters is upgrade your Wi-Fi contract, which is something I think most of us have had to do. Cost you a little bit of extra money, but I don't know how you shut down the Wi-Fi. You can't. You just have to make sure.
You can't. Unless you have cell C, then they'll shut it down for you. Oh, can you feel the pain? Listen, man. Finally, if somebody wants to follow you on the socials, where do they go? Do they go to @Graeme Codrington, @ISeeTheFuture, @astrology.co.imakethingsup.coza? What do they do?
Look, as long as you can spell my name, you'll find me on the YouTubes, the Instagram. The only thing I don't do is TikTok. My daughter's told me that's not a space that a 50-year-old man needs to discover himself in.
Yeah, I would pay money to see Graeme Codrington on TikTok, definitely. Okay, thanks, Graeme. We will be following you on the socials. Thank you for talking to us. The change is coming. The change is coming. Thank you, Graeme. Have a nice day.
Yes, sir. Go well.
But you knew you were going to have a nice day, didn't you? You knew that was coming.
Tomorrow's a better day than today.
Boom! Futurist wins. Thanks. Bye, Graeme.